Hello everyone and welcome today to the 2026 Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. This is the mildly updated 2026 Mazda CX-30. Again, not much has really changed for this 2026 model year other than this new Aire Edition. We have these really cool white leatherette and kind of Alcantara seats, as well as this full Alcantara upper dash portion over here, which is insanely premium and very fitting of the CX-30's nature. If you haven't checked out our full tour and review, definitely go have a look at that for all the fun details on this vehicle. Otherwise, we're going to take you guys on a full POV drive right now, a review, and kind of go into what may be different for this model year, what's not so different, and what we still love about the Mazda CX-30, because it's just a wonderful vehicle, I think, to drive and to purchase in this segment. As you know, CX-30 can be had with two powertrains here in the United States. We have our 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine with around 190-ish horsepower, and this turbo model here with the turbo on the engine, and it's making up to 250 up to 320 pound-feet of torque. 87 gas, you're going to be getting around 227 horsepower and around 310. I like how Mazda still kind of lets you run both fuels and still get pretty decent power out of it, and I like that if you run premium you get more power, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, we have our 6-speed automatic gearbox here. We have a sport mode. We do have like a standard kind of hill descent ish kind of control system here as well. Configurable gauge cluster up here, and since we have, it may not be the premium plus, but we actually are still getting 360 cameras on this one, which is actually just wonderful, and I like how it works in both reverse and drive, crystal clear. This one's also getting wireless Apple CarPlay with the touchscreen functionality, as you can see right here, which is really nice. This is a wonderful cabin. We have a heads-up display on this one, and it's only around 37 grand. I think this is a steal in the segment for how nice this interior is, for how quiet this car is, for how nice it drives. I'm going to shut up. Let's head out and start driving. Popping our vehicle into drive. We'll stay into normal mode for right now. Our wonderful Mazda turn signals here, which makes such a unique heartbeat sound as we have. Mazda intelligent drive controller here, over here for our drive modes, as well as our awesome Mazda click wheel that we still have here. I'm a big fan of this still. Maybe a bit old-fashioned. Off the line, you know, these Mazda turbo engines are just such a treat. We have a lot of power, a lot of low-end torque. Torque is available from like 2,000 to 2,500 RPM, all that really meaty torque. It's almost like a diesel engine. I always say these turbos from Mazda, they're just so grunty in that aspect, and they have that really unique deep sound to them as well, which I really appreciate. Now, coming to a stop here right now, you're going to notice something interesting. We do have auto brake hold that you do have to activate every single time you come to a stop, or every single time you turn on the vehicle, actually. But we don't have auto stop start at all in this vehicle, which is pretty crazy. We also do not have cylinder deactivation. The regular Mazda CX-30s actually have cylinder deactivation, which is a little wild as well for a 4-cylinder engine, and not many people actually know that. But we don't have auto stop start in this vehicle, so if you don't like auto stop start and you want a Mazda, go for the CX-30 Turbo. You're not going to get it in this vehicle. I don't recall the other ones not having auto stop start, but I'm gonna have to go back into my videos to double check on that. But this is an interesting feature here, especially for 2026. I haven't really noticed a difference in the fuel economy. I still get around, 23 mpg on average, I would say, in this car. They claim up to 30 on the highway. I did get 27 yesterday, doing around like 10 miles on the highway, but you do have to be a little more gentle on the throttle in a lot of those applications. While we're stuck here at the light, let's cycle through our digital cluster views real quickly. We have a traditional gauge cluster view. Sport mode actually doesn't change anything, which is a little frustrating. I wish it did the red design that we see on the other Mazdas. We also have our driving information. We can reset it with this button, and we have our more driver assisted view screen there. That's it. That's all that Mazda gives you usually, but it's pretty typical. I think it's still fine. I'd like to see some more updates on this coming down the road, though. I think the CX-5 for 2026 is doing so. Yeah, this thing is not slow whatsoever. This thing is really, really quick. Now, you have to remember, the CX-30 also is not a heavy vehicle, so it can kind of use this power a little bit more to its advantage versus something like the Mazda CX-50 and obviously the larger vehicles. But this is a cool pairing with this engine. It really does remind me, and I really genuinely mean this, as a raised Mazda 3 hatchback. And it sort of is at the end of the day, just a little bit bigger in some dimensions, but yeah, it's quite potent with this power. And again, that low end torque's really nice. Steering in the Mazdas is also just a wonderful treat. It's very nicely weighted. It doesn't feel light, it doesn't feel non-communicative. It's obviously not super communicative, but Mazdas still have some of my favorite steering in the segments across the board nowadays. They really do prioritize driver engagement, as does their gorgeous steering wheel. Just feeling it in the hand, you just feel like you want to drive the car. I really love how these feel. But you're going to notice we don't have paddle shifters on this vehicle whatsoever, which is an odd omission. You're going to have to step up to the Turbo Premium Plus for said paddle shifters, which I'm not actually a big fan of. I think they should have thrown it on this Air Edition. It kind of aids in this sporty nature, though we do have manual shifting via our gorgeously leather wrapped shift knob down here, and it is in the proper pattern. We have upshifts back towards you, downshifts going down this way. Of course, we have those 6 speeds we can cycle through. The venerable 6-speed automatic gearbox, we can call it now at this rate. It's been around for quite some time. No complaints with it. It's really nothing too bad. It's just not the newest gearbox. You know, it's not the highest, tallest gears. You know, those 8 speeds we're seeing nowadays. Even Mazda's doing 8 speeds in the CX-90. Been a little bit more beneficial for fuel economy, but they've been sticking with this 6-speed for quite some time now. It's been pretty solid and reliable, so I guess we can't really complain too much in that department. Driving dynamics of the CX-30 are just absolutely wonderful. I have quite a long time in the Subaru Crosstreks in my life, probably over 10 years, and even the newer ones up to this 2025 model year, they're still relatively pretty loud vehicles on the road, on the highway, in this cabin. You hear a lot of road noise coming in from the windows, from underneath the cabin. It's been quieter over the years, but they're not quiet. This car is quiet. This feels like a class above versus a Subaru Crosstrek in that aspect, and that's one of its main rivals in this segment here. So you're really going to be getting a much more premium experience and a better bang for your buck for the money, because it's pretty similar price range. You're getting around like 60-70 horsepower more, which is really nuts, because the higher engine of the Subaru Crosstreks is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, which makes 186 horsepower. Yeah, this is like an old school turbo, I always like to say, with these engines. It really has a big boost build after around 2,500 to 3,000 RPM, and you feel this huge surge of power come in, which is kind of cool actually. You just feel like you just keep shooting off into the distance as well. But I want to say that the ride quality of this vehicle is just absolutely phenomenal. It's not only quiet in here, the suspension on all 4 corners is really well sorted. We also have new dampers for the 2026 model year actually, so I think that's aiming to kind of provide a little bit more softer damping while also maintaining that nice body control the Mazdas have, which is, I think, a really nice touch. And coming out of a corner, this thing just rockets out of it. Really nice power out there. It kind of reminds me of a Subaru in that aspect, like a WRX. It kind of just rockets out of a corner pretty nice and strong, especially with this I-Activ all-wheel drive system. And Mazda likes to throw in to standard now on all CX-30s their G Vectoring Control Plus. And you're probably like, what on earth is G Vectoring Control Plus? It basically kind of uses this I-Activ all-wheel drive system. It combines traction control and a whole bunch of other different parameters and sensors throughout the vehicle to kind of do a sort of brake torque vectoring at all 4 corners, in a sense, to help better manage power around the corners and kind of help you really have a more connected driving experience. And for the 2026 model year CX-30 right in front of us right there, it's also combining a brake activated limited slip differential in the CX-30s, which is, I believe, standard across the range, which is pretty cool. So you get a lot of nice stuff in here to, again, help you as a driver feel more enjoyment in your Mazda CX-30. And that's how much attention Mazda really puts on the driving enjoyment of their vehicles. Not a lot of automakers do that these days. Now we're just about to come out here onto the highway. We'll pop it into sport mode just for a second. Hopefully we'll have a chance to kind of test out our acceleration on the CX-30 once again. Again, great turn in, good body control through the corner. And in sport mode, you're definitely gonna notice a bit more of a punchier attitude to this transmission, especially to the throttle as well. You do feel like you have a little bit more revs coming out, so it's gonna keep it more in that torque power band of around 2,000 to 2,500 RPM. You definitely feel like you're a little bit more on edge all the time in this vehicle. You can kind of hear it there as well. Yeah, it holds those gears a little bit longer. Ooh, some turbo noise is coming out of the hood. Really like that. Yeah, this thing pulls. You're never gonna feel like you're having a slow drive in a Mazda CX-30. And I really love its highway manners as well. You know, typical, I would say, of these more entry-level vehicles, you know, smaller SUV classes, on the highway, they don't always typically feel well sorted in the aspects of being just capable, comfortable, and quiet, and feeling like a more premium product. At higher speeds, you don't feel like you're going super fast in this Mazda CX-30. I can't say that about some of the competition. So it fits nice and well on the highway here. It also, and shockingly, just reminds me a lot of how BMWs drive in that aspect. And what I mean by that is that turn in, when you're kind of going through lane changes, it's very quick and precise and very direct. I love that in this vehicle. And on the highway, again, it's very stable and a straight line. It's very comfortable, very confident in its motions. I love all of that about this Mazda CX-30. You can hear a little bit of some road noise coming from the tire areas, just a little bit, but really no wind noise whatsoever. It's, again, really generally quite isolated in here. And even with this small little sunroof we have up here, we can close this. Doesn't really make too much of a difference in terms of wind noise. It actually does make it quite quieter in this cabin right next to my ear, as this piece of glass is now being covered. Now, on the highway, we don't have any sort of higher advanced driver assistance systems in this particular Mazda CX-30. If you go up to the Premium Plus, you're gonna get a little bit more advanced driver assistance systems on the highway. Though we do have radar adaptive cruise control on this vehicle, which was very easy to set your speeds. We have a really great visuals and our heads-up display up there. That we're not getting steering or lane centering assist. We do get lane keep assist, and all that lane keep assist is really doing is simply just keeping you, kind of pogo sticking you in and out of these lanes over here. It's not necessarily going to be keeping you centered in the wheel, so you always have to have your hands on the steering wheel in your Mazda CX-30. Other than that, I think this cruise control system works pretty well. We have really good following distance controls over here, so we can kind of adjust through four different following distance controls here on our digital cluster or in our main display over here, which is really nice. And again, easily to adjust your speed. And if you kind of exit a lane, it kind of gives you a little vibration on the steering wheel, and it gives you a warning on there to, you know, take control of your Mazda CX-30, which is a nice little sign to see. But other than that, you are more of the person in control of this vehicle, and a lot of people do appreciate that these days. Some of these cars are getting so tech filled that it's just a little bit overwhelming with all the stuff going on in here. Mazda keeps it simple. You got your gauge cluster up here. They purposely separate all the other stuff into your infotainment screen, and they purposely, as we know, put it up there to keep it in your line of sight. And that's why we have our control wheel down here to make easy adjustments. And I do want to kind of mention all this stuff with this infotainment screen over here. This is the larger version. It's over 10 inches. It's just so crystal clear. I love Mazda's displays, and I love how their hard buttons integrate with things like Apple CarPlay. So if I press music on here, it goes straight to my music in Apple Music here, or Spotify, for example. It can also go straight to my Waze or Apple Maps if I press the navigation button. If I go back, it integrates with that as well. So I love that kind of hard button integration with your phone projection systems and the Mazda systems. It works really, really well. And you can go straight back to your home system just by holding the home button really easily and kind of navigate through the Mazda's built-in system, or just switch right back to Apple CarPlay if you need to, and or Android Auto, depending what you really are using on a day-to-day basis here. But overall, this has been a really great week with the Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. super comfortable. I think it's still a really great value for your money in this class of vehicle here. You're getting such a premium experience in this vehicle for the same price point that you're getting a lot of its other competition at. So in that aspect, I think it's still a steal. It's a little bit smaller in the rear seats and the cargo space than some of its competitors, sure, but I think you can kind of make up for that if you're not kind of hauling people around all the time with just its sharp looks, its sharp design, and just really nice premium feeling cabin space in here. Now, I also have to mention how low you can get in this seat. Now, a lot of these other vehicles in this class, you kind of feel like you're sitting really high up in the vehicles here. But Mazda lets you get nice and low in this seat, and I'm actually not in the lowest position right now. I'm just gonna go down there just for a second. But you can see how much lower I can get in this seat, and you almost feel like you're sitting deep into the vehicle. This is a very uncommon thing for a transverse front-wheel drive based architecture. Even though all the CX-30s are all-wheel drive, you don't typically get that low seating position. But again, Mazda prioritizes their drivers and driving enjoyment and having that adjustability that you can have in these vehicles here, which I think is just absolutely wonderful. And also we have to talk about this 12-speaker Bose premium audio system, because I think this might be actually one of the best audio systems in this entire class of vehicle. It's so good. Before we turn on our audio test track here, we'll hop right over to our audio settings real quick. We can go to our sound settings right here in our built-in Mazda system. You have a few different adjustments from your bass, treble, listening position. A very small cabin, so that doesn't really make too much of a change. We have a fader, a balance, and our different stereo modes from stereo or linear for our Bose stereo modes. And we can adjust our Bose center point, which is our, the surround sound aspect of this vehicle. We also do have our Bose audio pilot, which I don't particularly use. It kind of adjusts the audio experience based on the speed you're traveling. I kind of just like to make those adjustments myself if I do need to. But let's have a quick test with our usual audio test track here of this awesome Bose audio system in this Mazda. A nice physical volume knob down here as well as on the steering wheel. Let's turn up the audio. Pretty nice. Just as with the typical higher end Bose audio systems from Mazda, this sounds great. And 12 speakers in a cabin this small really does make a really awesome surround sound experience in the CX-30. So go for this system. If you can get one of the trims of the CX-30 that has this upgraded Bose system, go for it. It is that good. I can only imagine the regular system is not too bad either as well. I have not actually been in that lower trim of the CX-30, so I can't particularly compare it for you, but from my own experience in this car, this sounds absolutely amazing. So really nice job here, Mazda and Bose. And again, as you can see, it is kind of lightly raining today. We do have automatic wipers as well as automatic high beams and headlights on this vehicle as well. So again, not even the fully loaded CX-30, and you're still getting all of these really nice, great features as well. So again, wrapping up my week with the Mazda CX-30 Turbo Aire Edition. I am a huge fan. I would love to see some styling changes on the CX-30, maybe some technology upgrades in the interior and stuff, even though, you know, everything I really like how it's still physical and how everything's laid out. But other than that, I really don't have any complaints for this car. It's just awesome. Great price, great value, great premium feel, and you can't go wrong with a Mazda these days. They're reliable, they're solid, they're gonna get you from point A to point B in style and with driving pleasure if that's something you really appreciate. As always, guys, thank you for joining us on yet another tour and full review over at Allcarnews, and as always, stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.